on working like a crazy woman out in the garden, but I do want to stop and smell the roses, or if nothing else, see the beautiful fall foliage. And I thought I would give you a little tour of the backyard that doesn't look too chaotic right now, and show you what has just put out really, really gorgeous autumnal shades. Starting with this Japanese maple that I really agonized over in the ice storm. It was bent completely to the ground, but it bounced back. So that was a nice little joyful thing in the midst of all of the other heartache. Look at that pretty little leaf. It's just gorgeous. This is a Bloodgood Japanese maple. Okay, so now let's walk this way, if we can turn around, and just forgive all of the stuff that's out because I'm working in the garden today. Here is a little, look at how pretty that Boston ivy colored on the garage door. Don't look at my dirty garage windows, which have all sorts of debris on them from the storm, and it's kind of hiding behind my husband's little Honda Ruckus. He thinks he's such a badass on it when he goes around in the neighborhood. Okay, come over here. And it's really kind of a pretty vantage point. Stuart, can you kind of do a little whatever so you can kind of see that there are elements of gold and red and russet and blowing leaves that are coming up everywhere. The Nandina have hints of this kind of purple on it. This is that little baby flirt. And even with the ice storm, my hanging baskets don't look too bad. I need to really do some grooming on them. But the color of the Nandina berries is also pretty. And it's amazing how much autumnal color you can get from Nandinas. And then over here in this corner, so if you're making a list of things that have pretty fall color, and that's what I talk about when I say a plant in my garden has to have four-season interest. I want it to also, some of it to be beautiful in the fall. Okay, these are my poor lights that came down in the ice storm. I have yet to remove them. But this is one of the smaller Snowball Viburnums. And the happy thing about this is, despite the fact that I've lost some branches, this is going to get more light now. And so it will bloom more heavily with a little bit larger blooms, and I think the plant itself will be more vigorous. So there's always a silver lining to some of these bad weather events. So if you'll come this way, and these are the things that sometimes you don't think contribute fall color, but they do. Look at that just pretty stand of Solomon's seal. And this is a plant that, it's beautiful in the spring, doesn't do much, but in the fall, it comes up and it kind of turns into this golden, the color of hay kind of hue. And I love its texture, and I love the color. This Viburnum, this All That Glitters Viburnum, is starting to change. And I think it's kind of pretty. And then through here, look, if you peek through these branches, look at how beautiful that Oakleaf Hydrangea looks. And even the dried spent flower heads on them look kind of silvery, and I think are a beautiful appointment and kind of a finial on the plant itself. And here is a perfect example, you guys, of this is a reason to grow Oakleaf Hydrangeas, even if you don't like the blossoms, which are just incredible. But look at that. Isn't that just wonderful? And these, by the way, make beautiful fodder for cut flower arrangements. I use them extensively in some of my tablescapes and things, so that's another reason to plant Oakleaf Hydrangea. Now this pot right here, I'm going to digress from my topic for a minute. This has some white dahlias in it. Now that we've had a first freeze, I'm going to cut these back, lift the dahlia bulbs out, and then I'm probably going to plant, I'm not sure what I'm going to plant in here. I'm thinking about planting all white tulips or maybe all white hyacinths. I think I shared, if I haven't shared it yet, I will soon, my bulb order that I just got in. So this is another reason that I am such a fan of barberries, because they do this. Look at that. Isn't that just incredible? Some of it looks almost fluorescent. And these are both golden barberries and orange rocket barberries. That's a southern living plant, and they really do amazingly well in the heat, and then they turn that fabulous, fabulous color. So come this way if you would. We'll cross the lawn, and here's more barberry juxtaposed against just that red pygmy barberry and that deep purple. And then that same kind of buttery hay color of the sedums. And I just love these punctuations and color harmonies. Look at how beautiful that seed head looks against the foliage of that barberry. And again, this can inform not only your garden, but it can inform any kind of flower arrangements you make inside. Now, if that's not fallish and autumnal, I don't know what is. And then I got more of that over here. What I like about the sunshine ligustrum, this is a southern living plant, and I'll put links below, is that it seems to me that it just speaks whatever season it's in. So as it starts coming out in the spring, it looks very springy and fresh. If it's in the summertime, it looks golden and really vivid colors that stand up to the strong summer sun. And then in the fall, it also has that golden quality that I think is just beautiful. And so does Miss Lemon Abelia down here, which has rapidly become, as a category, abelias are one of my new favorite categories of shrubs, blooming shrubs. And this is your quintessential 4-season plant. It looks absolutely great in all 4 seasons. I love the foliage, and it is mindlessly easy to grow. So that's another reason that I absolutely love it. So come back here. And this is the area I'm working on today. So it's a battered mess from the ice storm and from me working. But if you just look along the length of it, you saw it when it was in all of its glory, but look at the end, is that beautiful burning bush. And then just behind it, Stuart, if you can get how the tips of that nandina are starting to turn those same autumnal colors. Talk about a common plant that just performs beautifully. And the berries do the same thing. They kind of tie all of these colors together. And of course, when it was earlier in the fall season and things were fresher and the mums were in bloom, all of this was just an orchestration of the season. But even now, there are still remnants of it, and in the golden lower light of the sun, I think it's really magnificent. And even though it's really bright out, Stuart, can you kind of capture the view through here, the vista through here? And so I get the beauty of that Oakleaf Hydrangea in both directions. So I guess to kind of sum it up, these in my backyard are some of my favorite things. And Stuart, would you put a screenshot this at the end to list these plants for everyone? That burning bush, this sunshine ligustrum, which I just love, golden sunshine ligustrum, the Miss Lemon Abelia, and in general, barberries just in general. I don't know the specific variety of this golden one. That one is orange rocket, and then these beautiful Oakleaf hydrangeas. And then, of course, my beloved viburnums. And I guess, Stuart, if you'll kind of slowly pan around, you can see that my large Chinese snowball viburnum is also starting to turn gold. So all of these are quintessential 4-season plants, and I'm not sure what is in the borrowed landscape that really iridescent gold, yellow, orange, whatever color that is. I'm not sure what plant that is, but that's a good example of borrowed landscape. And then, of course, any of the Japanese maples, which bloom beautifully. So that's an example of things that really great seasonal color that you can get from shrubs and even from some perennials like the Solomon seal and the Sedum Autumn Joy that is just, I guess, an accompaniment, the chorus towards in the orchestration of all the fall season color from the beautiful trees and the maples and everything else, including, of course, that Japanese maple. So that may give you some inspiration as you're planting your garden and you want to inject a little bit more seasonal interest for fall into your flower beds.